Hey folks, hey yo, YouTubers, is anybody out there? This is a live streaming test. I'm online on YouTube. We've got one watching. Hey, identify yourself or forever watch the beachcombers on a Sunday afternoon. Who's watching? I need some feedback. Can everybody hear me out there? Everybody? Oh, one of you. Can you hear me? Can you hear? Hold on, let me get on the phone. Hello? What's that? Oh, it's not a phone, it's a banana. Look, man. I'm just doing a test, folks. See if the dynamics are okay, the microphones are all alright. Just a quick speech. It seems to have on YouTube, there seems to be like a, say, 30-second delay. I'm not sure. 2 watching. How you doing out there? 2 people. All my fan base. My fan base out there, all 2 of them are watching at the moment. Let's just scroll down and check the chat. The chat. Say something. 2 watching. Stream health. Everything cool. Okay. So, how you doing, folks out there? It's been a long time. As you can see, I'm getting old in this prison cell. I'm getting very old indeed. How's everybody? How old's are you out there? How you doing? You okay? This is the tramp speaking to you. Roller coaster ride live from the Whittle in Merseyside. How's everybody? And we've got 3 watching now. This is a world record, folks. I've exceeded 3 viewers on a live stream. I think I'm going to faint. A holy banana. 3 viewers. Well, anyway, let's get straight down to the nitty-gritty, folks. I thought I'd do a very basic, quick speech about metaphors in art and how we can be, as artists or creative individuals, or just plain old boring old farts like me, how we can use metaphors in art, and the wrong kind of people will take it in the wrong context and actually try and use it against you as though you're doing something wrong, right? I don't know if anyone relates to what I'm saying. I'm speaking, I talk, this is my YouTube accent. Usually this is how I would talk, but I've had people say, I can't understand what you're saying, Bruce, because you sound like a Scouse person, right? Now, if I spoke how I normally speak, it'd be like, alright there, man, you're okay, like, on YouTube, and I'm just talking to you out there, and I've just got a few messages saying that, like, see if you can hear me alright out there, like, sound brilliant. So that's why I sound kind of robotic when I talk on YouTube. It's for foreign folks, anyone from foreign countries, and they're like, what is he saying? I can't understand the word he's saying. So, I basically want to talk about metaphors in art. And I'll leave this video running, obviously. I'll leave it up recorded. I'm recording it at the moment to see how it, how everything works. I had a little bit of problems with my sound card earlier, and I'm just checking it out, right? But I thought, how can I do this? Because I know the viewers out there, all 2 of you, they've back down to 2 now. The 3rd viewer's disappeared. And basically, I thought people like hearing me speak. And I thought, well, I owe it to the viewers to do some speeches, like, but Nothing groundbreaking at the moment. I've still got the moon speech to do, by the way, folks, in the future, which is going to be very interesting. Trust me, if I get assassinated after that one, then you'll know I'm telling the truth. But the my speech today is about metaphors in art, right? Where you could come across as being offensive. Say, for example, when the Sex Pistols first emerged, and you know, Johnny Lydon would say certain things in his songs, and he was kind of victimised for it, wasn't he? Because he was just telling the truth. But there's also the possibility of metaphors, right? I'm sure, really, you know, he speaks his mind, doesn't he, Johnny Lydon? So, oh, checking the levels, 1, 2. But yeah, I've got a song on my channel, right, folks, as an example, right, as a classic example of where I might be. One of my biggest problems on this planet, right, folks, is I've read the Bible from beginning to end, yeah. I've had my spiritual experiences. Anyone out there who knows me well will know that I've been a great ambassador for belief and faith in the true divine spirit. If I was to refer to any particular, I don't know if anyone watches this channel, and I'm speaking in terms of when it's recorded and it's you know, it goes out later on, and people, there's only 2 people watching at the moment, so I can't, like, you know, I'm speaking in context of, like, later on there'll be people watching the actual, when it's left on the channel yet, right? Not doing anything groundbreaking, just testing the live stream in here, folks. But anyway, out there in the world of believers, Bible readers, I can't stand religion, folks. I've got to be honest. I'll be blatantly forward with that. I actually know the Holy Spirit. That's a different thing from, like, reading the Bible every day, going to church every week or whatever, and then telling your mates what they should and shouldn't do. You know, I mean, it got to the point where I even knew someone who was literally tying me up in chains because, you know, when you've got to do things on a Saturday, the Sabbath day, yeah. Certain people who are new, they start, like, evangelising against you. If you said, like, oh, I did me washing on Saturday, or I went to shops on Saturday to get me shopping, and they'd be like, you're not allowed to do that, it's the Sabbath. But these are people who've been brought up from a white background, if you know what I mean. And I believe that when some people say that Jesus wasn't white, for starters, he didn't have, you know, the way I've got blue eyes and fair hair or whatever. You know, any of those pictures, fake. They're all fake, you know what I mean. Jesus was dark coloured and all that, like, right? Straight away, there's a divide there, you know, white supremacists and people like that. They get a bit ridiculous, don't they? They say, Jesus was an Aryan from Mars with blue eyes and blonde hair. He might have been from Mars, yeah, but he didn't have blue eyes and blonde hair. But anyway. Or, you know, his last destination might have been Mars, the actual, I don't know, the task, the mission. Hold on, just have a swig of tea. Oh no, my phone's ringing. It's alright, I know who that is, it's gone. Anyway, I'll finish, carry on talking. But one of my biggest problems in the world, I'm very interested, I've done my own studies, it's a personal matter, you can have a personal relationship with the spirit. Some people would rather not go there because it can wreck people's heads, because some people will end up dictating to you somewhere along the lines. I've been through it myself. It gets ridiculous, you know, they're telling you can't do anything on a Saturday. Or whatever it is. Let's say you work, say you get a job, and sometimes you have to work on Saturdays. What are you supposed to do? You know what I mean? You're supposed to go, oh, you know, 40 lashes because I went to work on Saturday. It gets ridiculous. So there's religion, right? And then there's understanding, right? There's faith and understanding. Now, I don't know any of you out there who are familiar with a guy called Pastor Dowell on YouTube. And he is actually my favourite preacher. He calls himself an Israelite, or a Hebrew, or, you know, an Israelite, a modern day Israelite. And he refuses to acknowledge the banner we call Christianity, right? Now, I can't argue with the guy, it's a personal choice. It's actually quite advanced thinking, and it's refreshing in this world, you know. And all the other religions, Catholicism, Jewish, Islam or Muslims, I haven't got anything against any of them. I think it's up to yourself how you're reared or brought up or whatever. But I would, personally, I would recommend being religious free. Having faith, being good. Being good is enough. You know, say you compare yourself to Charles Manson, for example. You know, you're a good person, obviously. It doesn't take rocket science to work out the difference between good and evil, does it? We don't need people to tell us that, like. But people, like, on YouTube, for example, I always watch Pastor Dowell's videos. He's a popular dude. He's been, well, the guy puts himself out so many hours speaking online, but he doesn't have to because he's a busy man, isn't he? He's actually a spiritual leader. He's got a congregation, right? But his opinions about Christianity get taken out of context. People take it the wrong way because they are probably Christians and they don't want to... Hold on. I was only pretending. But I've noticed a lot of people have a go at him because he speaks his mind. He doesn't beat around the bush, and he says you don't want to be religious. He's got brilliant points of view. He's proper ahead of his time. Like, you know, I think he's excellent. Like myself personally, like I wouldn't call myself an Israelite. I'd call myself either a Samaritan or a converted Gentile. You know, someone from a Gentile background that's been enlightened by the Holy Spirit directly, and that's what got me into those things. But I run a mile when people start getting doctrinal and religious to me. It's just like I start like, excuse me, you're not my mum and dad. Stop telling me what to do, you know. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there have had that kind of feeling in churches and that, where they go like, what are you telling me what to do for, like the Sabbath thing, the Sabbath, right? I'm unemployed. I'm on social security, right, folks? And I know a lot of other people did. One of the people I knew who got into the obsession about the Sabbath, he was unemployed. Now you think about it, in the Bible, right? God says we work for 6 days a week. That's like assuming you're in the past, right, folks, when you had oxen ploughing the fields, or you were planting vineyards, or, you know, physical carpenter in the case of, you know, the Lamb of God's occupation before he took to the ministry and that. You're working, you're actually doing something every day of the week, labouring, right, folks, yeah. And God's rule on that is like, you take a day off and you say to, you know, your whole family takes a day off, your whole community, if you're a minister, your congregation, right? You take a day off on the 7th day, right? Now, as far as I'm concerned, right, all the word of God comes from people before the Romans, doesn't it, right? So that means the Roman calendar, with its months and days, even the days of the week, are complete mishmash. God wouldn't have had a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then Monday, Tuesday, those things, and the divisions of time, the hours and the minutes and the seconds. Remember, we put our clocks forward and put our clocks back when the winter and the summer ends and begins, if you know what I mean. So if you left things naturally, there's a point where things would just kind of catch up to each other, wouldn't they? The dates and the times. And in Enoch's, you know, in Enoch's words, the sun sets and the sun rises, or the sun rises and the sun sets. That's a day, right? It doesn't have to be called Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? So say you were brought up in a community where you didn't go to school, your folks were farmers or carpenters, or, you know, grape growers, whatever they did. It was a labour, and it took up all of their time, and that's how they made a living, that's how they had food on the table, right? usually most people, I know when I get into work, I could work 10 days a week if there were 10 days. I actually enjoy working when I'm into it, like, I don't actually mind doing it, like, but my mental state doesn't allow me to go that far, you see, you know, I'd be working now, like, but, no, I'm on sick, you know, I'm basically on the unemployment benefits, but it's a you know, work-related thing where I get paid, but on the premise that I might try and find work soon. My last job was in a factory, so I do work, you know, but let's just get back to basics in the ancient world. Ancients, who the Bible is kind of referring to, like, how are they going to have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? It's impossible if the Roman calendar didn't exist, isn't it? It's just going to be the sun rises and the sun sets, the sun rises and the sun sets. And say your intervals of time, God has created the division of time, which is like 7 days, based on the 7 days of creation, right? On the 7th day, he takes time out and says, right, I'm going to sit back and enjoy everything's going on now, right? Now, the human race is supposed to, like, if I went to work on, it started on a Wednesday, you know, in our modern world, I get up every morning, instead of Monday morning, it's Wednesday is the beginning of the week, right? So it'd be like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then according to being starting work on a Wednesday, Tuesday would be my Sabbath day, right? All this nonsense where they say Saturday is exclusively the Sabbath. I don't believe that. I'm sure the Spirit made allowances for people who work. They start work in the middle of the week, or they start work later on in the week, or they start work normally on Monday, so it works out their Sabbath day, their day of rest, is a Saturday. It's supposed to be a Saturday. People make too much of a big deal about, like, you know, everyone goes to church on a Sunday, so it's sun worship, right? I agree what they're saying, but to make a big deal about it is not really worth the effort, is it? Days of the week are something we shouldn't really go mad about, right? I'm like, are you with me so far that, like, if there was no Roman calendar, no, the way we're used to and accustomed to, and we're rammed into our brains in school, remember, the calendar, or every day we'd open an exercise book and we had to put, like, Monday the 25th of March or whatever on top of the, you know, we always had to date everything in school, didn't we, you know? Whereas if we were ancient, say we were in the rainforest, like those Indian folks, you know, like South American Indians, and we were good people, we weren't evil, we weren't cannibals or nothing, and we go out, like, with our blow darts, and, like, for a living we hunt monkeys for food and make canoes or something, and you swap things with other tribes, and you wouldn't go like, oh, I can't go to work today because it's the Sabbath. You just wouldn't, but you'd have that one day where you sit down and you go, I'm paying homage to the Spirit today. I'm saying, oh, like, you know, the meals are a bit more, like, varied for the rest. But you'd have a family, obviously, wouldn't you? There's hardly a chance of people being isolated on their own in those circumstances, right? So the days of the week are irrelevant, in my opinion. As long as you take a day off and you go, and someone says, why aren't you working like 7 days a week? Why do you only do 6 days? Say, because I take time off, and say, wow, thanks God for all this food, or for the great weather and good health. Little simple things, you know what I mean? Just simple things, like, that's what it's all about, really, right? So this business where you go, this guy works on a Saturday, it's completely insane. Whereas, like, Pastor Dow does things by the book, and he's an Israelite, and his cycle, he has it so the whole congregation are all busy all week. They're all either making furniture or self-sufficient, ploughing crops, you know, their own livestock, chickens, things like that. Normal life, like a French farmer, or that kind of element, where everything's natural, your food's natural, all those things. Now, in my opinion, the Pastor Darrell decided, like, I'll tell you what, we'll start the week on a Wednesday and we'll have our Sabbath day on a Tuesday. Alright, folks. I'm sure the Holy Spirit doesn't mind. I'm sure it's like the sun rises and the sun sets and one day is taken out. An entire day where you don't even have to, you don't even have to do anything. Anything that's pleasurable and enjoyable, that's what the Sabbath day is all about. I don't care what anyone says, I'm sure that's a fact, but my society where I'm from, right, we're used to being on the dole or social security. I'm on the sick, remember, I don't work because I want to be unemployed, I'm not in work, not working because I don't want to work. My mental state is such that I could attack someone or all kinds of stuff in work if they say the wrong thing to me, like, go away. I know what that is like, and he's ringing now. I'll ring him back later. Bloody no. Hate that one being disturbed. But anyway, so do you not agree with me, folks, that like as long as you take that day off and you go, I think God is awesome, and all the simple things like the weather's been great, isn't it great, everyone? Life is fantastic, Okay, if your life's crap and things aren't working out well, you may be in allegiance with a demon or something, and it's ruining your life. That's a different matter. Like, most people who are righteous don't have to deal with such matters, do they? Obviously, because they know the score, like. But do you agree with me, like, that, like, 7 days, it's a cycle. It's up to you when it starts or where it ends. Some people go to work on a Sunday or on a Saturday or whatever. They have to work weekends because it's like a supermarket job or something like that, like. And they might be just part-time, so they don't just have one Sabbath day. They have like 4 Sabbath days where they take time out. They might not be believers or nothing, like, you know what I mean? That's irrelevant. That's a personal matter, isn't it? Right. Hold on. Just sit back so you don't hear the gulp. So I think I'm a bit of a pioneer in declaring that, folks, that like as long as you take one day off, you can take 5 days off, you can take 6 days off and just work 1 day a week if you want, but as long as one of them days is like, thanks God, thanks for everything, thanks for the crops, the weather's amazing, the wood that I use to make me carpentry, the provisions, little things that you just don't take for granted, right? Now, if we're on the dole, this guy I knew who's into the Bible and stuff, and he meant well and all that, like, but it was getting to the point where he wouldn't let you do anything on a Saturday. Do you know what I mean? It got a bit ridiculous. I'd be like, I went to laundry today. He's like, you were in the laundry on a Sabbath? I'm like, don't make a big deal about it, mate. I've got I'm on the dole. I'm unemployed. I'm not working, right? There's usually 7 days dedicated to the Holy Spirit. Yeah, I've got nothing to do. And I actually thank God every single day. There's not a day I don't do. I sound like a madman here with my rantings and that way. But I work as an artist, that's the way I see it. I contribute as being an artist or telling the truth on YouTube or something like that, or writing songs and that, right? Which brings me to the issue of metaphors, right? You see, if you can't even get away with doing things on a Saturday without someone moaning, we're in a world where someone is always picking faults, right, guys? And it does my head, and I ignore it, but there's some people who can't. We're in a world, right, folks, where if you type an insult to someone on from your iPhone to someone else's iPhone, they'll go, I'm going to go and hang myself. Someone just told me I was too skinny. They give you say something like an insult and you go people are actually killing themselves because of what people type on phones. It's unbelievable. Right, but how on earth, if I'm on the dole, or I'm on the sick, actually, right, folks? Not proud of it. It's not something to be proud of, but I'm actually on the sick at the moment. As you know, I'm planning my live excursions. I'm going to become a street entertainer to be self-employed, right? So make sure I take 1 day off, Say thank you, Lord, for this busking machine, and my guitar strings are still okay, didn't snap today. All the little simple things in life I'll say thanks for, you know. Right, but metaphors, right? Like, it gets to the point, right, folks, where you can't make a move with, like, I mean, I agree with Pastor Dow, Christian, shall we say, institutions, including the Catholics. Remember, the Catholics make you say a confession. They make you, you know, you scratch your bum. The priest wants to know. So, did you touch yourself there? Did you scratch your bum? You say, like, yes, Father, I did something really, really dirty. I scratched my bum. You know. It's like, it gets to the point where they actually make people in Catholicism tell a priest everything they've done wrong, as if it's like, you know, you will be punished. And you didn't just scratch your bum on a Monday, did you, Bruce? No, it was a Saturday. Scratch me bum. You're going into perdition. Was it purgatory? Well, no. What I've learned is, when people speak the truth, I mean, Pastor Dow talks about Christianity quite openly, right? I'm not knocking Christian folks and that. There's loads of people I've met who are actually Christians, right? And I can't fault them. They're lovely people, they mean well and all that, but they've got that, like, he's doing something wrong factor going on, like, you know what I mean, where they can't just leave you alone, like. And one of those things, for example, I wrote a song, you know, points of view, everyone's got a personal, you know, they say one man's heaven is another man's hell. That's one of my favourite sayings in life, because it's true, isn't it? You could like listening to, you know, Elvis Presley, and someone would be like, I just can't stand listening to Elvis Presley. But you're entitled to your own personal thing, right? Now, I once wrote a song, it's on YouTube, it's called Here We Go Again, right? I do like a busky version of it on that video where I'm trying out the amplifier thing, yeah, right? But I wrote a song, it's called Here We Go Again. The actual song with the lyrics, the complete song is, if you go further back into me, you know, uploaded videos, I think it actually says Here We Go Again, punky song outburst or something. And so the words are there, and I put the lyrics on the screen so you can actually see what I'm saying, right, folks? Yeah. Now, if a judgmental Christian or preacher or father or priest or bishop listen to that song, right, immediately, I'll recite some of the lyrics, right? Immediately they're going to say, he's a hellraiser. He's trying to make people want to, like, do exactly what he's saying in that song, right? Now, at first, it might sound like that and seem like that, but as an artist, right, when you're an artist, you want your metaphors to be clever, creative, constructive, make people think, make people be kind of interested, fueled. As any artist, like Damien Hirst or Banksy or whatever, any artist out there that's actually genuine, they're not going to be like doing hand paintings, are they? You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'll put my hand in paint and I'll get a spud painting, I'll just do a picture of a bus or something. You've got to have something that compels the mind, and something that, like, even critics have a go at, but you've got the truth in your mind. You're saying, I didn't intend that, but this critic is already having a go at me, aren't they, you know? And, like Banksy's picture of the Queen, and it's like a chimpanzee with the tiara on. Whoa, that's a powerful piece of work, guys. I mean, that's like... I don't think the Queen would actually appreciate it, would she? It wouldn't be in her private collection, like. But, like, in my song Here We Go Again, right, the first verse, right, I say, I'm looking for something to substitute my love. I'm falling from heaven above. Temptations everywhere, and I'm executing care. You've got to understand the isolated man. Right, that's the first verse, right? And then the chorus, I say, here we go again. money down the drain, here we go again and I don't mind. Now, if you first heard that song, or the first part of it, and you weren't familiar with me, or you knew about me with me metaphors and I don't know, like a different angle on things. If you were a Christian or a bishop, you'd have a go at me, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Probably. Second verse, right? I'm looking for substance to pacify my mind. I'm searching, it ain't hard to find. I've got the time to kill. If I don't, someone will. Now do you understand the isolation? Something like that. And then the last verse is something to make me sing and dance. I'm praying I get another chance. We've got the time to kill. If we don't, someone will. Now do you understand the isolated man? Here we go again, money down the drain. Here we go again, and I don't mind. Right, now what does that sound like? It sounds like a madman, right, saying to everyone, like a punk rocker who's off his head, like Keith Richards or something. I just want to get off my face, waste loads of money, you know, not feed the kids, not give me wife money for the new kitchen or whatever, like, and I don't mind, I'm going to waste all the money, like, you know, in the wrong context, they could be taken such, like, in the wrong context, basically, because if it's just taken face value, no one's going to get it, man, right? But if I told you, right, that song was written about when I had my nervous breakdown, right? And there were moments when I was, you know, I was used to being a punk rocker and just enjoy. I wasn't a wild man, you know what I mean? I used to enjoy myself and go to punk discos and dance with other punks, and we'd just, you know, we just move like tribal. It was tribal to me, like, you know, moving to music. Yeah, I'd have a drink, you know what I mean? But I wasn't heavily, you know, like a mental case. But when I had my nervous breakdown, right, this is where the metaphor is. This is where the whole song becomes, like, to me, it's a little stroke of genius. It's an artistic thing. It's not just I'm writing a song to sell records or anything like that. I mean, I've never sold it. It's like, you can't buy it, to be honest. You can only watch it on YouTube at the moment. Oh, hang on, someone said, Grandma always said, scratch it if it itches, even if it's... RS Hall, I just read the comments, sorry I took a bit of time there. It says, Grandma always said, scratch it if it itches, even if it is in your britches. That's from RS Hall. I believe RS Hall is in, if I remember correctly, he's in the States, or she's in the States. I don't know if it's a he or she, but, oh man, let me think. Was it Indiana? If I remember correctly, did they say they were in Indiana, in America, or Illinois? But yeah, right, okay, let's get back to the thing, right? A mental breakdown, well, I was a nervous breakdown, right, folks? I had a nervous breakdown, right? And I also had psychosis, paranoid psychosis, because I did too much LSD, right, folks? I admit that. That's my big confession, like, I was goaded by other people most of the time, you know, but eventually I was doing these things. Well, it caught up on me. I became, you know, if you heard of Peter Green out of Fleetwood Mac, or Sid Barrett out of Pink Floyd, I've been through both of those journeys, you know what I mean? I'm a guitarist, obviously. You know, when Peter Green went bonkers, he gave his guitar to Gary Moore for like £100 or something. I can't remember what it was, but he gave his amazing Gibson Les Paul to him for pennies, basically, compared to what it was worth, because he didn't care anymore, right? I've been through all that, you know what I mean? LSD can completely destroy your mind and give you serious psychosis, where you think the aliens are coming to pick you up in a spaceship tonight at, like, you know, gotta be on the motorway at like 3 AM because the mothership's coming to pick me up. I've been through all that, guys. It's amazing I'm still sitting in my living room, not in an asylum, in a padded cell, to be honest. So, if you see the lyrics from when I was actually had my breakdown, and I was in the breakdown state, right, folks, right? Stopped playing music, stopped going to discos or rock clubs or anything like that, stopped going for the nights out, dancing with chicks on the dance floor to heavy rock music, you know, none of that. Stopped playing in bands, Didn't even go to shops, didn't even go out. I was a recluse, I was a hermit, right? Then think about that song. I'm looking for something to substitute my love. The relationship's ended, she's never coming back, right? It feels like I'm falling from heaven above. It's metaphor, it's a term, it's what's the word? A perspective, oh man, what's that term for it? Like, but proverbially, right? I'm a breakdown patient, right? I'd stopped going out. I wore scruffy, dirty clothes every day of the week. My teeth were a mess. They're a mess anyway at the moment, but they were really bad, folks. Trust me. You wouldn't want to be talking to me close up, if you knew me back then. I'm telling you, I was a mess. And just the thought, right, folks, of even stepping into a pub or a club with people and having a drink and going onto the dance floor with a pint of beer in your hand and going, it was impossible. So the song Here We Go Again, if you go on to my, check that song out and read the lyrics, I'm not telling people to get off their heads and waste money. I'm speaking from a breakdown patient's perspective, right? That I'm never, ever, gonna ever do that ever again. I actually thought when I wrote the lyrics, I was never, ever gonna go into a pub or a club ever again and just enjoy myself and have a drink and talk to fit birds and, Then you see the genius of the lyrics, or what I'm actually getting at in the song. It's a fantasy. I'm like saying maybe one day, and here I go again, money down the drain, and I don't mind. Whereas when I was younger and I was doing all that, right, obviously I minded wasting money. I used to be very penny wise. I couldn't afford to go out drinking when I was younger, to be honest. I hardly did it. It was like a treat every now and then, right? But if you think of it from the perspective of a man who's like, I'm never going to go into a pub or a club ever again, but I wrote the song anyway to capture the feeling and the perspective, right? Since then, I've been able to go out, get back into life, go to shops, do all the things I used to do. I've got my head together, but I think the song helped. Do you understand the principle of writing a song? Here I go again, and I don't mind. I don't mind wasting money tonight because I'm enjoying myself and I never thought I'd ever see this ever again. If you see that side of it, you see a bit of work of art. I hope people get that, but it's punky, it's in the style of the Sex Pistols, who I was heavily influenced by when I was a youngster, It's not telling you to go and, riot at Buckingham Palace or nothing like that. So it's a different thing, isn't it, right? And so that's one element I'll give you of my own pit. Now, a lot of my songs are like that, guys. I write a lot of songs with, on the surface, you can go if you're a over-the-top, overzealous Christian or Bible basher or priest or vicar or whatever, you could go, he's a demon. He's telling people to get looking for substance to make me sing and dance. He's talking about drugs and alcohol there. Substance could be anything. It could be a party. It could be a wedding. Even Jesus turned the water into wine, folks. You understand? At a celebration. Right. So, does that answer the question? If anyone's got any criticisms about my song, Here We Go Again, see it from a breakdown patient's perspective. Hey, Andres Calvillo has joined us. Damn tramp. Amen to that. Thank you. Super tramp, Andres. Andreas Calvillo and RS Hall, the two watching live at the moment. Obviously, I'll leave it on YouTube for everyone to watch later on. Alright, so does that sound sensible enough, folks? I mean, that's one of my songs that I know that any Bible bashing zealot is going to have a field day, going through those lyrics and thinking, look what he's saying there. Saying if you're a breakdown patient, you'll understand what that's about. Not many people have had breakdowns, guys. It's more of a minority than a majority, isn't it? Let's face it. So, which brings me to the last part of this speech. It's going quite well. This is 40 minutes so far. I thought it'd be like 15 minutes, like, but the last part of my speech, perspective, metaphors, how people see things, right? The same factor I've seen even in the movies. You know, when you watch a movie, say you're sitting with a friend and you're watching a film and you find something hilarious and they don't see it at all. And you think, you know, and I'll give you the classic example of it, guys, which is a real circumstance, this, right? This is a few years back in 19, you know, I love Stanley Kubrick's work, right, folks? You know, Stanley Kubrick, the movie director. Man, he just blows my mind because of the depth and the brilliance that he's demonstrated. And he's not your typical movie guy, is he? It's not like Hollywood. It's a different angle. It's so, you know, he's very interesting, like, but it's adult. Some cases it's adult. You know, it's meant for adults, right? We're not kids. We watch something, we go, whoa, that's a bit violent, isn't it? Or that's a bit raunchy. If the Bible bashing, you know, I myself suffer from social phobia. Yeah, I had a similar thing. I had basically, what's it called? Like agoraphobia. I just didn't want to go out. It took me a while. I got over it though. There's a cure for everything, you know. You'll find out. I'm 53 now and I'm actually feel like a teenager, believe it or not. Even with the beard. But yeah, anyway, Stanley Kubrick, right? Man, you could go... How many videos on YouTube about that guy's work? And some folks are getting him wrong, some folks are getting it right. They're all guessing and all kinds of stuff. But in particular, I want to talk about the film Clockwork Orange, right, folks? The very first time I saw the movie Clockwork Orange, man, what an experience. I'm so grateful to Stanley Kubrick just for the experience of what I witnessed during that, you know, watching that for the first time. Now, here's the mystique and the mystery of Clockwork Orange, right? When it was first released, it got banned in the cinemas, didn't it, right? Some people actually got to see it while it was in the pictures, and then all of a sudden it was banned because it was too violent, way over the top. People took it literally, right? Not accounting for Stanley Kubrick's incredibly brilliant sense of humour. They call it black comedy, right? Now, if anyone can't get that comedy, that humour in Kubrick's work, you just haven't got the super sense or the mind to handle it, right? But I always remember when I was young, I was like, what, 15, 16, and one of my relatives saying, I've actually seen Clockwork Orange, Bruce, in the cinema, like, and it was bad, you know. And in my mind, in the mystique of my mind, because we didn't have videos and all those things, like, and it was impossible to see that film. But when it was banned, it was just impossible to see it, right? But the impression I got from someone else saying, oh, it's the violence is terrible and it's really overkill. And if you take it seriously and you see it with the angle of, no, like a slightly song, here we go again, if you take it the wrong way, it would be, you digest it in your mind in the wrong way. But I'm sure some people would have been in the cinema when they saw that for the first time, would have seen Kubrick's humour, you know, rather than being shocked. It's the whole point of the movie is to make you laugh, to be honest. But no one knew that when it was first released. Kubrick kept that under his belt, didn't he, if you know what I mean, right? And so there was this mystique in my mind of what this film was in. Whoa, these gangs going around beating the tramp. Well, I got beat up in that film. I've actually been battered by a gang, to be honest, guys. Well, twice. I've been beat up twice by gangs. Must be a Clockwork Orange thing, mustn't it? But years later, right? Years later, we're in the age of the VHS videotape, right, folks? And one of my friends in Liverpool, a Scouse dude, who was older than me, he was, you know, he was in his 40s when I was in my 20s. And he said to me, you know, we used to like sit down, have like philosophical discussions, listen to records. Sometimes we used to get stoned together, you know, just a bit of, you know, just back in the day when I used to hammer weed as well as LSD. Right. Oh, don't tell the Christian folks. Don't tell the Zealots. Please, don't tell the Zealots. Like, but anyway, this dude, he said to me, I've managed to get hold of a bootleg. This was, the year was 1991 approximately, if I'm not mistaken. It was either 1990 or 1991, right, folks? And I wasn't a big Kubrick fan or nothing like that, but I acknowledged that there was something special about his movie making, you know, 2001 or whatever. But this dude who I knew, he said, I've managed to get hold of a bootleg of a video of Clockwork Orange from France or somewhere. He ordered it off someone, and it had to come through France, or, you know, it just wasn't available yet. And he's like, you want to come round and watch it, like, you know? And I was thinking, wow, should I watch it? From what I've heard people say, it was a bit like The Exorcist or stuff like that in your mind, where you think, I don't really think I should watch that, you know? But he's like, come watch the film, man, you know what I mean? And I was thinking, wow, this will be a treat. I hadn't even seen a clip of it. Do you get me? I'd just seen photographs or stills, or, you know, the actual poster with Malcolm McDowell doing his thing at the, you know, through the Illuminati triangle, as they all keep. It's the all-seeing eye of Freemasonry, folks. But anyway, this dude says, come round to mine, we'll have a chong of weed, we'll have a toke of weed, and we'll watch Clockwork Orange for the first time. As far as I know, he hadn't seen it himself, or he was saving the experience for this, like, little session we have watching it, like, right? So I gets to his, and we actually had the toke of weed, right, which was nice, you know, the laughing gear, stuff that makes you laugh, right? He puts on this movie. I'm expecting, like, the most... I was expecting, like, something like RoboCop or something, you know, just pure violence. And it starts off, and I was watching it, like, and he's sitting right next to it, and this guy was a Scouser, right, guys? You know, Scousers are meant to have the best sense of humour on earth, right? And it's true, they are hilarious, but I'm from Birkenhead, which is over the water, right? The other side of the River Mersey. We Birkonians, people from Birkenhead, we are funnier than Scousers, mate. I don't care what anyone says. We have got a better sense of humour than Scousers. They'll never admit to that, but it's true. We are the kings of comedy, not the Scousers. Birkonians are the kings of comedy, right? I'm sitting there watching this video thinking, big deal, man. The movie I've never seen. And he puts it on. We have a toke of weed. We have a smoke of weed. The pair was like, you know, just chilled out, like. Next thing, the film starts rolling, and as it's rolling, as it's going, right, I started laughing. Right, even the bits that were deemed as violent, or what, you know, people... remember, there's one thing you can guarantee with Kubrick, right? It's like Shakespeare. Everything is on a stage. He doesn't... Some movie makers capture reality and then sell it as a movie. And it can be sick. There can be some seriously sick bastards out there in the movie world, can't you know? But you can count on Kubrick to be like costumes, stagehands, actors, actresses, scripts, and he's behind everything that goes on the camera, right? So I'm watching it, man, and I start laughing my head off, right? The guy sitting next to me, the Scouser, he's not even finding any of it funny at all whatsoever, right? So it became this like circumstance, you know, when in school, when you're in the teacher's classroom or the headmaster's room, and you're not supposed to laugh, and you all start laughing, and the teacher's going, if any of you laugh again, I'll hit you. It was like that. I was actually sitting there going, I better stop laughing here, you know what I mean? I actually better stop laughing, like, because, like, he's going to kick off on me, like. And he actually said to me, you know, I'll do it. This is a Scouse accent, like, you know, he's like, well, what are you laughing at there, lad? Well, that's sick, that, lad. That's sick, what's going on there? And you're laughing at it, lad? he was actually taking it dead serious, and he was accusing me of being sick in the head for laughing my head off. Right, obviously, as the movie went on, it got worse. I was like, ah, ha, 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 laughing as if I was watching a comedy, you know what I mean? I couldn't believe it, to be honest. I was like, is Kubrick taking the mickey here, man? Is he taking the Michael? Because this is hilarious. I don't know why you know, sick. Loads of it, like, they're only actors. They're actors and actresses playing the parts. It's not real graphic, you know, he's not catching things like a documentary. They're actors and actresses. Anyone who's in that film will tell you that, right? But I got the comedy big time. I was in stitches. But the pain was like, I can't laugh here, man, because he's going mad at me. And he was getting worse. He was going, oh, no, I don't know why you're laughing there, Bruce. That's not funny at all. I don't think that's funny at all, lad. That's sick. So what he was doing was he was accusing me, like I say, like the proverbial preacher or the priest or the guy who thinks they're like... He was basically vindicating that I was sick and perverse, or you know, I might have been violent or a psychopath or something for laughing at the movie. Yeah, I couldn't help myself. I was like, this is such a treat. It's unbelievable, but I can't even laugh because this guy takes it. He's a Scouser, and he didn't even see the humour in it, right, man? Now, flick forward. At the time, the film was banned. I could have been being stitched up, and set up by cops or something. I always suspected the guy as being a closet copper, you know what I mean? I thought, is this like, no, because it's banned. Am I breaking the law watching this? And am I breaking more laws by laughing, like? Right. Then the film ended, and he's going, I don't know why you were laughing there, mate. You know what I mean? I was like, couldn't you see any humour in that? I was thinking, I actually thought to myself, maybe it's because I'm stoned. Maybe it's because I'm wrecked. Sometimes things seem funny and they're not. But when I watched it again later on, when it wasn't banned anymore, because people actually got it, didn't they, that it was meant to be a black comedy, right? There's footage on YouTube of Malcolm McDowell being interviewed. You know, the guy that plays the crazy, I can't remember his the character name in the film, like, but the comedy in that film is just pure genius. It's absolutely hilarious. I could watch it any time without being stoned. I laugh my head off even when I just see clips of it. Like, I burst into tears laughing, like. But Malcolm McDowell himself, who is a brilliant actor, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's sitting there in an interview and he goes, people didn't get it. That it was meant to be a comedy. You know, that's what he actually says himself. They all knew that. Obviously, Stanley Kubrick had tipped everyone off. This is a comedy, you know, but how many people will get it, like? And if you watch it in the context of knowing that, like, I mean, I think Kubrick kept the secret to himself. In the same way I released that song, I just wanted people to say, if someone attacks me and says, oh, you're sick, you want everyone to go out, waste the money, getting pissed, drunk, on stoned, getting on, you know, doing all, what's the word for, a hellraiser. I'm like, it's about a mental breakdown patient thinking he'll never ever do it again. Then you'll see the perspective. Well, Kubrick's comedy, I'm sure he kept that to himself. And he must have watched the cinema audiences when he had the chance, you know, while it wasn't banned. He must have watched the cinema audiences or something and see, like, let's see if people take this seriously or actually start laughing, you know. But that's an example of, like, metaphor, right? And, like, you know, would a priest, say I was sitting with a priest that day watching that film, or a bishop, or the leader of a church or something, and they'd be like, Bruce is a sick fuck, you know, pardon me language, right, you know what I mean, like, Bruce is one sick mother for watching that, mate, and laughing, like, isn't he, you know. I say, but that, Kubrick intended it, man, you know, that's the genius of Stanley Kubrick, you know what I mean. But that's my, reaching 55 minutes. If that Scouser out there is watching that, watching this video, you were wrong, mate. And baking ahead, we proved ourselves. We are funnier than Scousers. We get the sense of humour. Kubrick, the Kubrick test. He voted Berkonians having a better sense of humour even than Scousers. So I think that's incredible. And we got a good judge of, metaphors, different meanings, other things in religion where one person tells you you're doing something wrong when you're not doing anything wrong at all. You know what I mean? Hope people get the perspective of what I'm saying in this speech. It's, reaching the hour mark, so I'll get off in a minute. The two people who have sat through it and watched, thank you very much for watching, folks. I really appreciate that. I've never done a live stream where there's been loads of people. I'll have to do something controversial, Kubrick job. Try and do something amazing, like. So anyway, I'll leave you with that one anyway. And if you watch Clockwork Orange, see it in the metaphors, see the genius of it, the comedy. It's a different film altogether. If you listen to me song, if you find me song, Here We Go Again on YouTube, it's on my channel. There's just a photograph, there's no visuals or nothing, there's just lyrics. The lyrics are there for people to read. See it from a mental patient's perspective, you'll see a completely different song altogether, like, oh, here we go again, I'm spending money and I don't mind, I actually don't mind wasting my money because I'm enjoying myself, I thought I'd never get out of my bedroom, Alright, I think I'll leave you with that, folks. Any zealots watching, fuck you. Any priests, any people, if they do things on Saturday or anything like that, like, and you don't like it, like, fuck you. You've got no right to tell me what to do. Leave me alone. But yeah, thanks for watching, folks. I'll get off now. And phone whoever was trying to phone me before. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the speech. Just a little lesson about metaphors and seeing things differently and taking into consideration one man's heaven is another man's hell. Thanks for watching and goodbye, YouTubers. Oh, I wasn't recording. Only joking.